Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast, all the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. I came across a headline that surprised me because it's one you don't hear very often. It goes a little something like this. Florida man walks into Publix, leaves $1 million richer.
Nice.
You never hear a Florida man headline that goes that way. It's never that way. Like Florida man headlines are always much funnier than that. Like it would usually be like, Florida man walks into Publix, leaves after throwing pet alligator at cashier. You know, like that's a Florida man headline. Or Florida man walks into Publix, leaves after trying to rob wearing a see-through bag on his head. Nice. Or Florida man walks into Publix shirtless but leaves with a shirt made of broccoli. You know, those kind of things. So back to the real headline. Florida man walks into Publix, leaves $1 million richer after buying a scratch-off. So he played a $50 scratch-off and won $1 million. Woo! Betty Rock, have you ever done scratcher tickets?
No.
No, really, Gavin? No?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, no, there's
okay.
not a wrong answer.
Okay.
Although Betty is going to judge you now.
I'm minding my own business.
It's always Haley's grandpa's. It's in the Santa bags that we get every year.
That's fun.
And it's I'm never gonna go buy one for myself, but when you get those, you're like, oh, let's see what we got.
When Greg and I, like our families would travel, Greg always bought lottery tickets, and so we would stop somewhere and get scratchers, and I'd get like one or two. I'd get like the $1 ones, $2 ones. He would buy the $30 ones. Ooh. Like and lose like almost every time. Like I think I saw him win once, but he was like, it's vacation, it's fun. Like he didn't care. So this guy spent $50. I would never spend $50, but he won $1 million.
Wow!
But here's where the not fun part of winning the lottery is. Let me break it down for you.
You just have to say that he won a different number.
Yeah.
It's the language that's the problem.
Yeah. Okay. So he wins $1 million. He decided on the lump sum payout, which left him with $640,000.
Okay, still a lot of money.
Yes, but they took a grip of cash just for the privilege of having that money now. So now we'll do the math. Okay. I went to ChatGPT and I asked him, I said, what if you won this amount of money? What would you be left with? And it said at 24%, which I think might actually be even low, that would be $153,000 of withholding that would go to the government. So after that withholding, from that 640, you are left with $486,400. So it's a net loss of $513,000 you lost out of that. Yeah, exactly. More than half of that money you lost in the lump sum and taxes.
They must love when people gamble because not only are they getting the tax money from the tickets sold, but also from the prize.
Yeah, because if you were offering this money and because they have annuities and things like that for this stuff, and so if you take the money, lump sum, they pay you, but they keep it and they make the money long term on it. Like it's genius. So he lost over half the money, and I know I'm a pessimist, for looking at that, like $486,000, but most people look at that like you have $486,000. I'm like, you had $1 million, And
but that's the thing is that like you didn't like it's just the way that they're not going to market. You can't market. Oh, look at like he won 480. Like it's so much easier to market the $1 million number.
Well, and two, the money was given to you.
Sure.
So you can't really.
I can.
you can't really complain.
I love it.
Some of the money is being taken away because it never belonged to you anyway.
Yeah, but see that's
want it.
That's kind of girl math.
For it.
Well, yeah, but that's like if you had something. It's like if I like Betty Rock. If I came in, I said, "Hey, we're gonna do a contest today, and if you get this right, you're gonna get 3 chicken biscuits." Okay. And you'd be like, oh, my gosh, that's fantastic. So you just won them. Mm-hmm. And then when I go to give them to you, I go, okay, now I'm going to give you this chicken biscuit. These other 2 chicken biscuits I'm going to keep for myself. But you won them all, but I'm going to keep these other 2. You're not going to be happy with that.
No.
Yes, exactly.
It is tough because it's like a blessing with small font that tells you that it's, it's an edited blessing.
Right.
So it is pretty messed up in terms of here's something, but also, like, just say it differently.
Right. But here's the reality, too. $486,000 is not life-changing money. That's what they always say. I won life-changing money. I won life-changing money.
It changed my life.
You're not quitting your job, though. That's the thing. Like life-changing money to me is you quit your job, you are living completely afraid of anything financial. Like that's life-changing money to me, where you don't have to work.
If you're talking about the entirety of your life,
yes,
that's very fair. Like if I won $486,000 right now, like I would be in a position where my wife and I could buy a house in Nashville when we probably couldn't in the at all near future.
Right.
It'd allow us to pay off all of our student loans, which would be life-changing. It would allow us to buy good vehicles, which would be life-changing because I just fixed the brakes on my Subaru, which...
But you're still going to work.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. Like, that's the thing. Like, you're still having to go to work. I think what the thing is, people think of winning $1 million like, I'm rich. I don't have to do anything anymore. You're not rich at $486,000. I would say you're wealthy. You know, like if you took that money and you put it in and you made 10% on that money, that's $48,000.
Yes.
And so that is, you know, a year's salary basically. You can live on that. You can definitely live on that if you're smart with your money and you don't touch the principal. But like that money, as we all know, it goes fast because you've still got to pay taxes on all that
pops
stuff.
up too.
Yeah, but anyway, so it's not. I mean, I guess $1 million doesn't go as far as it used to. It's better than nothing. That's what they should do. The lottery should be like, hey, it's better than nothing. That should be their slogan.
Take what you get and go.
And don't pitch a fit. Lady Rock, what do you got?
Oh, my turn. Okay, so...
Always a surprise to her.
Well, I never know if you're going to do a second story, and usually you end on a downer.
Plus, she's got new, what do we call, are these
I've got
pens?
new gel-scented sparkle pens.
They are gorgeous.
Are these your TikTok? Like for me, I get distracted during the show with TikTok.
Yeah, I was scribbling on a few of them on this paper over here and smelling them. Yeah, some of them do. 12 of them do, and 12 of them don't.
Oh.
Ooh, but smell this one, Gavin. It's supposed to smell like raspberries, the black one.
The black one.
Yeah, smell it. Smells good. So earlier this week.
Smells like grapes.
Earlier this week, there was that all-women's trip to space on Jeff Bezos's Blue Origin's rocket, New Shepard.
I've seen some stuff coming out on TikTok that are saying that it was fake. I don't believe that it's fake.
I don't
but
think
people
fake.
are saying that there are TikToks going around. I mean, they denied the moon landing too, so I mean, you're in good company, I guess. But.
Right, but all of that happened, and all the women got back safely. The crew involved Katy Perry, pop singer, also journalist Gayle King, and Jeff Bezos's own fiance was on the trip as well. Now, keep in mind they were up in space, and I put bunny quotes on that. Because it was 62 miles up into the atmosphere.
You're not in outer space.
You're not in outer space, but it's right on the limit where you're kind of there, but you're kind of not. Right. And there's no more gravity, which is awesome.
Yeah, I would love to do that.
Now, after all of this went down, they got back safely. They were hit with criticism. So many people are making fun of the trip. I didn't hear that some people were calling it fake, but some were making fun of it, calling it a ride. And Gayle King, the journalist that was on the trip, she is offended by that. This is her interview after the trip.
I really resent that people are calling it a ride. We duplicated the trajectory of Alan Shepard's flight back in the day. No one called that a ride. A ride sounds frivolous. It sounds insignificant. This was a bona fide flight.
It was a flight.
Sure.
Okay.
I'll give you that.
Now, I read some comments. Some people were saying, we get told all the time we need to recycle, we need to have green cars. But here we have a couple of millionaires that are going up in space for 10 minutes, and you don't know what that rocket's made of, all the jet fuel that it takes to get them
what's the carbon footprint on that?
Right, exactly. And it doesn't make any sense. Also, I saw where Gayle King, who we just heard from, but also Katy Perry, they both kissed the ground when they got back to Earth.
Yeah.
And I saw Katy Perry, she gets off the ship and she's kneeling down to kiss the dirt, okay? But her feet and her knees, her legs are all on a blanket, okay? So they're being covered up. But she puts her mouth on the dirt, and people are like, oh, you're kissing Mother Earth, but you just put all of these chemicals into the solar system.
You cannot be liberal enough for liberals.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But this photo of Katy kissing the ground went viral, and for some reason, Wendy's woke up and chose violence. Wendy's, the fast food restaurant. So they saw that photo and then commented, can we send her back?
What did she ever do to Wendy's?
I don't know. But then on top of that, Kesha, you know her, the Don't Stop Making Rock. She didn't say anything, but she posted a picture of her with a Wendy's cup drinking out of it.
Oh,
So I guess
shots
she's got some
fired.
beef with Katy Perry. All that to
Funny.
say, they may have, all these women on this crew might have thought, oh, we're going to be put in history.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of hate coming from it about making fun.
You just can't win. You know, anytime you put anything out and socially like that, you can't win. So an all-female crew, you would think it was all females. I bet the Wendy's person that blew him up was a woman. You know, like,
it might have been,
like
yeah.
that's the crazy thing. Like, okay, now is it a space mission? Not when you can train for a week to go do it. It's not a space mission.
Mm-hmm.
It is more of that thrill ride, but I mean, it still comes with risk.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, literally, rockets explode all the time. Like they don't have them fully dialed in yet.
Right.
They have a lot of them dialed in, but I mean, it's like it happens.
Still scary.
There is risk to that,
Yeah.
and breaking free of the atmosphere, of the gravity in the atmosphere, is jarring to your body. You pull G's, and it would be scary.
Right.
So like, good for them. Like I good on them for doing it. I don't think it's nothing. Now, I don't think it's a monumental thing. We're getting into space tourism.
Right. I don't understand what the purpose of it was.
I think eventually what they're trying to do is they're trying to get it to where it's commonplace enough that they'll be giving away rides and you're paying for rides. And ultimately, too, like space exploration has always been about what the advancements are to get you there that then benefit Earth. So like if you do this and you learn how to do this repeatedly, your time going coast to coast in a plane, if they do like do a plane version of this and you fly in that upper atmosphere, the stratosphere, you would cut a 5-hour trip down to like 30 minutes or an hour.
Right.
And so all of the technology to get you up there is what you benefit from years down the road. So it's not a waste, but I love the environmentalists, like, you're killing the earth.
Well, and also, too, because typically you hear that kind of thing coming from celebrities where they're
Right.
like, you need to be green. You need to
Right.
think about your footprint on the earth and Mother Earth and all this. But there you are being a total hypocrite.
Right.
And also, you're not letting people know, because I don't know, what the purpose of it was.
Right. There really isn't a purpose.
They should have communicated that better to win people over,
Yeah.
but I don't think they
But there
did
really
that.
is no purpose. They just wanted to have
That's
all
the
these
problem.
women in this thing. Yeah, it's a fun ride.
So then do they deserve, well, you can't call it a ride.
I know.
But do they deserve, well, I wouldn't say deserve, but is the hate to be expected?
Yeah, I don't
something
think
they
it's
should have expected?
warranted. I think it's just a non-issue. Like, yeah, we're doing this now. It's a cool advancement. The people that are speculating that it was faked is really interesting to me.
I don't know
Like
about
one was like, this thing has big windows. You can't have big windows. Everybody knows that. I'm like, no, that's the design that they've had. So unless they faked all of these, which I doubt,
Yeah.
but it's possible. But the one telling thing was funny was as Jeff Bezos goes to unlock the capsule from the outside. So he's going to unlock the women and let them in. Somebody inside actually opened the door. Like you see the stream and you see the door start to open and then someone closes it. And then he comes up and is like, okay, ladies, come out. So somehow you could open the door from inside, which people are speculating you're not supposed to be able to do that. But then I don't know if that was just a miscommunication. Like, yeah, they have that so you can get yourself out. You can extricate yourself in the case of emergency, which would make total sense.
Right.
But I think it was more of a bad PR thing where they opened the door to get out and he was supposed to let them out to make it look good. That's the only thing I saw that was like really like, that's interesting. I don't know that means it's fake, but it was just kind of funny. Do you got any birthdays, Lady Rock?
The cotton candy one smells good, but the cookie one is definitely not where it's at. Smell this one.
This is cotton candy? Or
No,
this
that one is the cookie. It's not great. Okay, we don't have any birthdays, but I do have a question. This one is from John and Carly. They said, how many people do you know personally who were fostered while growing up?
Oh, wow.
Isn't that an interesting question?
I know
any.
A couple friends who have kids that were fostered before, but I don't know their kids really well. Like they live out of the country and I haven't spent a lot of time around them. But my best friend in high school, he was fostered and then adopted.
And did it turn out well for him?
They had some bumps. They had some bumps along the way. He wasn't the easiest kid. But then again, neither was I. And my parents had me. And they
true.
probably would have loved to put me up for adoption.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, what? No. I remember growing up, there was a couple at my church that they adopted a brother and a sister.
Oh, yeah.
And the sister seemed to do really good. The brother went off the deep end.
Yeah.
I mean, it was bad. Did a lot of things that put him in jail, like all these things.
Yeah.
And I remember having this conversation with a friend of mine. I was like, why do you think it's harder for boys to be adopted than it is for girls? I mean, I think it still is hard for girls, but sometimes it does seem like for instance, your friend Paul,
I
his wife,
literally just wrote it down. I'm like, how did I not think of that?
Yeah, they adopted 3 little girls that are sisters, actual biological sisters.
Yeah.
And they've done really well.
They're amazing.
But what do you think that would have been the same with 3 brothers?
I don't know. And the reason I didn't think of Paul and Rhonda is because it's so normal to them.
Yeah.
And like the girls,
You don't think about
the
it.
girls all call them dad and mom. And
Right.
we literally hang out with them every week. And so to me, I don't think anything like those are their kids, and because they've done such a good job at integrating them into their family. And some of them were older when they adopted them too. They weren't all babies. And so to see them thrive, and they're all amazing girls. They all work hard. They have a great work ethic, and they're kind and they volunteer. Like it's just amazing. But then sometimes parents do all the right things and it just goes south. I've never understood that about adoption, like where kids have abandonment issues from even though they can't remember that they were abandoned kind of thing, but they feel that. And you can't dismiss that because you don't know what that is. You don't know, what that's like. But it's interesting to me because I have other friends that their kids that they adopted have those night terrors and abandonment issues and things like that because they were in a orphanage in China, and so it's, who knows?
I go to church currently with a couple that they adopted a little girl from China. So she was a baby at the time, and they tell us stories about what they saw in these orphanages in China, and really bad. And this girl is thriving. She's doing great. Like she's getting her master's in psychology. Like she's doing good. But do you feel like if you were adopted, if another man and his wife adopted you as their parents, do you think as a boy that would have messed with y'all?
Personally, I don't. But then again, it's all hypothetical because you can't say what you would truly feel. I, in my soul, think now, but I'm also 57. I would be so grateful, because I have the capacity to love. Like I could love if I adopted a child tomorrow, I would love that child like it was my own. It'd be completely different than Hayden.
Hayden,
hypothetical Hayden,
dude.
I would love that child and see no difference between them and my daughter Haley. And so I think that as being on the other side of that, I would have that same feeling towards those parents. That, man, you chose me. This is amazing. I love you. This is great. But maybe I wouldn't. It's so hard to say.
Gavin, what do you think?
Yeah, I just think it depends. Did you give the parameter of when we were did we know our parents? Because we have...
No, I would say as an infant.
Okay.
Let's say your mom went
sure.
into the hospital and she was like, I'm giving it up for adoption.
It just depends, I guess. Because if I grew up and they revealed it to me at a certain age, it might depend on the age that I am when I find out that information, because if you don't know about it, then what hurts? Again, obviously, at some point or another, you're gonna be like, yeah, maybe I don't look like mom and dad in those situations. But I think that I would probably have that feeling of why did you give me up? But then I think I'd pivot in my own head and think about, okay, it's not that I myself am the one you gave up. You just gave up a baby.
Right.
You didn't give up Gavin.
You didn't
It's not that I wasn't somebody that you were going to... It didn't matter who I was going to become. I was put up for adoption.
But that's 26-year-old Gavin that wasn't put up for adoption.
29.
29. Are you 29 now?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'll be 30 in
I still think you're
6 months.
26. That's crazy.
I do too.
But that is... from that perspective, like you didn't experience that. Like I'm saying, I think I would feel this way.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But it's amazing. But when you hear story after story after story of kids that feel like they were abandoned and it's super personal to them, there's got to be something to that.
Well, I would think too, and of course this is coming from me as a 39-year-old, I would think I had something to brag about. I had something over other kid, like you were born.
Right.
Your parents
have
had
to
no
love you.
choice.
Right.
Yeah. But I was actually chosen.
I'm an angel.
Right. Out of a group of kids. Like I was the one that was chosen.
The claw.
Yeah, the claw. So I would think that would work. That would work in my favor.
Maybe that's how they should do it.
But there's so many kids that don't feel that way.
Yeah.
And I wonder if sometimes boys have a harder time than women.
Girls. I don't know.
But I don't know.
How we're genetically made or wired and process things. Would they process it more difficultly for them?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I love adoption. Like I think it's beautiful. People that do it, special heart that it takes to do that, because it doesn't always work out well. I think that would be really frustrating for me if I'm like, I'm going to love you. You have all the rights of my daughter. You have everything. And then they like reject you or fight you or make it hard on you. I would have a hard time with that. But then I look at that and I go, well, that's what we do to God. Like he literally is like, look, I'm adopting you. You have all the rights of my son. This is great. And then we're like, yeah, you stink. And we get mad at him,
And it's like we have two friends in Nebraska who have two foster girls, but they are 5 and 10 or 5. I don't know what age they are, but they were taken like from their mother to be put in the foster care system because she was abusing drugs and all these things. And so you have these kids who, I think when they brought them into their home, they were like 7 and 2 or something. So they always say that the 2-year-old calls them mom and dad, actually, because in her mind,
all she
these
knows
are her parents. These are the people that are pouring into her, caring for her. But the 10-year-old right now had that relationship with her mom, even if her mom was making mistakes and wasn't, in essence, per se, the best mother. She still loved her daughter, but what happened caused the daughter to go into foster, and so she calls them Alfonso and Rachel. Like, she does not call them mom and dad because in her mind, that's not
right.
And I'm sure you don't want to push that on her either.
No, and they don't.
Are they trying to adopt them or?
Yes, they are.
Oh, well, there you go. I love that. Everybody wins at that point.
That reminds me, too, I was, do you know who Rory Feek is?
Yeah.
No.
The guy that, he was like a country artist with his wife, and then she passed away from ovarian
Rory and
cancer.
Joey, like she is a documentary on them and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Super sad.
Yeah. But anyways, he just found out recently, so the two little, well, they're not little anymore, they're grown adults, but the two girls that he grew up raising as his own, he just found out that one of those is not his biological child.
What?
And he never knew that, and neither did she, the daughter.
That'd be
she
interesting.
just felt like something was off, and so she went and got one of those DNA tests, and come to find out that the man that she thought, Rory, who she thought was her dad, was never her dad to begin with.
So Joey cheated on him?
No, Joey is not the mother of this girl.
Oh.
So Rory Feek is a man now. He's like around Wally's age, but Rory was married at the beginning. He like at 18 to this woman.
Oh, okay.
They got divorced, but before they got divorced, they had two little girls together.
So they weren't Joey's
Then he
kids.
married Joey,
Got it.
and they had a little girl, Indiana. So now he's got 3 girls. But there's a big age gap between Indiana, the youngest, and these 2 that he had from his previous marriage.
Got it.
What I'm saying is one of those girls from the previous marriage just found out that Rory is not her true father.
Yeah.
So then she goes to her mom and she's like,
What up?
what happened? She's like, oh, yeah, he was just someone that I was messing around with while your dad was overseas.
Oh, wow.
Like
Well, that's-
serving.
Yeah.
But anyways, all that to say, after reading his blog or whatever, it sounds like that daughter of his has kind of rejected him and is now calling her real dad her dad.
No, that's the worst.
So that my heart goes out to him because he spent all this time raising these children. Their mother didn't even raise them. I mean, these 2 girls depended on Rory. and now that daughter has kind of
that would break
parted
my heart.
ways. Yeah, and it's broken his heart.
Yeah.
But now she's calling another man her dad.
Oh, especially when you did all the hard work, and then
and
Rick
he was
gets
nowhere.
to show up.
Yeah, Rick just
you know,
shows up
and walk her down the aisle one day.
and he was the one that cheated behind your back, cheated with your own wife at the time.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah, that's not that man did not have morals back then. Don't know where he's at now, but back then,
right.
He was culpable. So,
his story has just been a hard one.
Yeah, he's not had the easiest.
I would say he is a Job, a 21st century Job.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, that's gonna have to do it for your Aftercast for today. You did it today.
It was me. Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.